Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Alien Protocols, the Advanced Protocols Data Project. So I wanted to dive into something really quick with you guys and share this little story with you. And it's a very interesting story. It's about something called the Uturo Bune. It's got several different names for the same incident, but in 1803, according to three different books, a small ship landed on the shore of Japan, and fishermen met this woman, a stranger, who came out of this craft. And the craft had a very interesting description. It had a metal bottom, they said like brass, and they could see plates in the brass. There were some bands of metal, and on the top, there were some windows with glass, and that they were very amazed at the material and had never seen the material before. They could see inside, and they could see writing and some food and something to drink and some like cloth. And there was a woman who came out of this craft, and she was very unusual. She was wearing clothing that they had never seen before. She had red hair, and she was carrying a box made out of some unusual material that she wouldn't let anyone open or look at or see. What was also very interesting is if you look in the text, that she not only had red hair, but had red hair with white extensions. And that's seen nowhere else in Japanese literature. It's very unusual aspects to this case. But another aspect that makes it very unusual was the writing. The writing that was on the craft. Very unusual symbols. And those of you who've researched UFOs will recognize some of these symbols. The symbols are right in the center of the screen here. I don't know if you can see them there, but there's some better images of the symbols. Here's one of the images of the symbols right there. Don't those look familiar? Well, if you've researched Rendlesham, you'll realize that those symbols look very stunningly similar to the Rendlesham Forest writing that was on the craft that the military witnesses reported during that amazing incident. Perhaps one of the greatest UFO cases. So these symbols, as you can see here on the right, are very different than traditional Japanese symbols. Very iconic, very simple, but they look a lot like those Rendlesham. Now that's the actual drawing that I believe it was Peniston did. And look at the circle with the triangle in it with the other globes, how perfectly that matches. And some of these other symbols, like the two T's and the one T thing there in the center, which is kind of like reminds me of the golden ratio. And of course, the thing to the right of that looks like a human being a little bit. And that one symbol, second symbol from the top, has the golden ratio in it. You can see in a couple different places. Very, very fascinating. Definitely has the golden ratio in it. So, but it not only matches Rendlesham, it matches other cases, like Kecksburg. Remember Kecksburg? And they had those symbols on the acorn-shaped thing. And some of these symbols look very similar. Very similar. Very interesting, huh, gang? So, and also what's important to think about too is Roswell. Remember the I-beam, and they have those different weird symbols on that? Very interesting that these symbols keep coming back. And someone who is good at analysis of symbols and different languages might be able to put together some pieces here. Regardless, I just thought it was very interesting correlation between multiple different stories from 1803 to the 80s with Rendlesham Forest. So just thought you guys might find that interesting. This guy down here on this graphic says 1830. That's a mistake. It's supposed to be 1803 is my belief. Anyway, symbols, what do they mean? Much love to you and yours.